Hello, lovely people. Sorry about that rough music there for a moment. It is the Sabbath day, and I'm so happy to be here with you. God and Goddess, thank you so much for this lovely day and all the blessings that you continue to give to us. Please help us to ascend the golden ladder, becoming all that we can be. Help us to shine brightly and illuminate the path for others, helping them to also find their way in the darkness. Help us to be loving and kind and compassionate. Help us to change the world into a garden paradise once more. Thank you again for everything that you continue to give us, and the salvation and the insight and the love and comfort and all of the great things that you provide for us when we are willing to have it. Thank you so much. In the name of Elohim, I pray. Amen. Like I said, today is the Sabbath, and you may notice that it is Saturday, and up until, a few weeks ago, not even a few weeks, but we had Sabbath on Friday, and we had the Nasarean New Year, so Sabbath is now on Saturday, which kind of coincide, or, coexists with the mainstream Jews, essentially, that are Saturday Sabbath people. So, and the prayer for today is: Our God and Goddess, immanent and transcendent, send to all your angel of peace. To your spiritual kingdom, send the angel of eternal life. Great day for doing what we're about to do, which is jumping into chapter 14 of the Holy Megillah, the Nasarean Bible of the Essene Way, translated by Day of Greenleaf and available at essene.org. I'm actually at the Mother Temple right now. This is chapter 14, the Bahir Shibathayim. We are on candle 4, and it is titled The 12 Tribes of Yesar'el. Receive now the 4th candle of the Bahir Shibathayim. The 4th candle illuminates the Yesar'el, which is the nation of Yesar'el. The Shnei Hugim, the 2 circles that form one church, shall be Ehad, one nation. The name of our nation is Yesar'el, which means right relationship with Elohim. All those who take refuge in the Lord and Lady by accepting the Bahir Shibathayim have new life as citizens of Yesar'el. Yea, there will be many Nazarean kibbutzot, which is the plural of kibbutza, but they all form one Nazarean nation. Behold, a time comes when the kibbutzot will be attacked by the forces of darkness, and Nazareans will be dispersed to live in private homes in the towns and nations of the worldly, lest they be slaughtered one and all. Lo, even in those days, all who accept the Bahir Shibathayim shall remain one nation, living in the world, but not of the world. Their guidance shall come not from the rulers of the world, but from the priesthood of the Lord and Lady. Yea, let the dispersed Nazareans gather in local kehilot, which are congregations, to receive from the Nazarim. And let all the kehilot receive guidance from Hekal, the Mother Temple. Behold, Abdiel, even as you shall found Yesar'el, which is the nation of those in right relationship with Elohim, there shall be a multitude of other nations. Yea, you will be greatly outnumbered. And all the multitude of nations outside of Yesar'el are united by one thing, They wish to rule in place of Elohim. Yea, they struggle against Elohim when they should serve Elohim. Wherefore, we call those nations Yesar'el, which means he would rule as Elohim. The footnote also mentions that he struggles with Elohim, and in the story of Jacob and the angel, right, he goes back and establishes that they will be called Yesar'el, and because he struggled with the angel. That's in the book of Moses. Wherefore, we call those nations Yisrael, which means he would rule as Elohim. For to this world has come Lucifer, the soldier of Satan, and he has planted the tree of Yisrael in the soil and life of this world. For due to disobedience to the unwritten law, Adam and Eve fell and became citizens of Yisrael. Yea, due to the nafal, which is the fall, there was need of the raising. Wherefore ye shall establish the Nasarean priesthood on this world. For with the fall of Adam and Eve, Mavet, or the way of death, entered this world. And wherever there is Mavet, there is need of the raising, which is resurrection from the way of death unto the way of life. And those of the way of life in the Lord and Lady are the Nazareans. And even in dispersion, we are one nation, though scattered amongst the towns and nations of the world. Lo, when the days of dispersion come, and the kibbutzot are no more, continue to meet in hidden congregations. But when conditions are favorable, Yesar'el will form kibbutzot, which are communes of the Essene Way. And all kibbutzot are under the guidance of Hekal, the mother temple. Behold, Yesar'el is one nation united in Ma'aseh Kodesh, which is holy work. Wherefore, all citizens of Yesar'el perform Ma'aseh Yah, the work of Yah. Yea, all are osim, all are workers. Every member of this nation performs the raising up of oneself and others, for we are Nasareans. Every Nasarean is a healer of the nations, for we live and teach the Essene Way. Even so, we express Ma'aseh Kodesh in a variety of ways according to the Oseh Tzadek, which is the righteous activity of the 12 tribes of workers. Yea, the kibbutzot of Yesar'el shall be of Shnayim Asar Shevet Ha-Ovdim, which is 12 tribes of workers. Lo, each tribe is a spoke of the one wheel that is the one nation of Yesar'el. Therefore, the 12 tribes will not live separately, one from another, but will live amongst each other. For behold, a wheel missing many spokes will collapse. Therefore, when conditions permit, the Nasarean nation will form a kibbutzot, and each kibbutzah will strive to enlist members of each tribe. Now behold, the 12 tribes of workers of the one nation of Yesar'el. 1. Let there be Shevet Nazarim, the tribe of priests and priestesses. Lo, the priesthood consists of circles within circles, for there are many levels of initiation. Let those who feel called to the priesthood first prove their sincerity as members of the congregation. Then, after demonstrating sincerity, let them study to become ministers. For that is the intermediary step between the laity and the priesthood. Yea, ministers are the servants of the congregation, serving in whatever capacity is most needed. Let the Nazir Elyon, the high priest, invite those ministers who serve well to study for the priesthood. Yea, there are many levels within the priesthood, and each priest and priestess rises according to their progress in Omna and in service rendered through the years. Responsibilities and privileges within the Nazarean expand as one rises through the ranks. Only the Takbulia Elyon, the Supreme Council, shall know all the names and rankings of the priesthood. For the enemies of Yesar'el will desire to know all those names and rankings to use for foul purpose. Behold, the Supreme Council shall consist of the high priest and 2 members of the priesthood selected by him. You, Abdiel, are the first high priest. Your successor may be male or female, for both are equally worthy and may be from any tribe. Behold, each tribe represents a type of work. Some Nazareans will participate in the work of more than one tribe, according to their desire. For nobody shall be forced to do one type of work against their will, nor be limited to one type of work. Each tribe, is under the guidance of the high priest. And the high priest will select a zaken or zakina, an elder or eldress from each tribe. Sorry, there we go. From each tribe to assist his guidance of that tribe. And each zaken or zakina must also be a priest or priestess of the Nazarean. Lo, I say unto all who will enter Shevet Nazarim, your work is important. Your help is accepted and needed. Be not despondent when the world around you is dark and decadent. For within you is Nazarut, the homeland of the Nazarim. Therefore, O Nazarite, take Nazarut with you wherever you journey. Yea, and when your work seems of little effect, be not despondent, for even one soul raised up to El-Cush is cause for jubilation. Yea, be not despondent, but neither should you boast that you are a Nazarite, thinking yourself superior to those of other tribes. For I tell you truly, the Nazarite who boasts lives not in Nazarut, knows not the holy presence, and wears not the crown of righteousness. Rather, bend low that you may be high, for that is the way of Shevet Nazarim. Blessed are they who keep the way of Shevet Nazarim. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and shall receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Nazarim. Number 2, let there be Shevet Raphaim, the tribe of healers. These are those Nazareans who specialize in the healing arts. Behold, the healers know the herbs of the fields good for healing. Yea, for all the ailments of the body there are herbs in the fields and forests that have been given by Jaja to comfort and heal. Lo, no illness exists that cannot be helped or healed with the appropriate herb. And the healers know the foods given by Jaja that can prevent many ailments. Yea, and they know the foods that cause many ailments. And they know the uses of water, clay, stones, and sunlight. Yea, and of many things given by Jaja for healing. And their hands are skilled in the healing arts. Yea, they give comfort even with the touch of their hands. Lo, I say unto all who enter Shevet Raphaim, your work is important. Your help is accepted and needed. Be not despondent if many refuse the Nasarean way of healing, and be not despondent when your work seems to fail. For some illnesses and injuries must run their course, and no remedy will cure. Yea, some illnesses and injuries are even unto death, and none may prevent this. For the body mankind wears on fallen earth is not that of the first garden of Cush. Therefore, be not despondent when your efforts seem to fail. For I tell you truly, the love you share with those who are beyond healing gives comfort to their soul. And a comforted soul will rise higher than a despondent soul in the life to come. For love raises the soul of both the giver and the receiver. And when your efforts are successful and you heal the sick, do not glory in your skill, for all healing is from Jah, as is every skill. And never let worldly gain interfere with your righteous decisions as a healer. He who cannot compensate you shall receive the same treatment as he who can. For this is the way of Shevet Raphaim. Blessed are they who keep the way of Shevet Raphaim. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jah and shall receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Raphaim. Number 3, let there be Shevet Ariot, the tribe of lions, which is the Nasarean army. Behold, this army wages war without killing. Yea, this is the Sevaot Hayot, the army of life. Oh no. For they will defend life from violence, though they kill not. They are as brave as lions. For each Nazarean lion shall be trained in Zayin. And Zayin is mastery of the movements of body and mind. Lo, the only weapons permitted the Nazarean soldier are his philosophy, body, and wooden staff. The staff must not have sharp ends or metal and may only be used to disarm others who carry lethal weapons. The primary weapon of the Nasarean lion is his philosophy, which is the Bahir Shibathayim, with added training in Zayin. The secondary weapon of the Nasarean lion is his body, which has been trained in Zayin. The third weapon of the Nasarean lion is the wooden staff that he has been trained to use in Zayin. The staff is the weapon of last resort. Philosophical discourse is the weapon of first resort. The primary purpose of Shevet Ariot is to serve Shevet Nazarim and thereby all of Yesar'el by accompanying the preachers as they roam the world. They will also defend Nasarean kibbutzot, though they may not kill. And wherever they roam, they will defend the defenseless but never kill. Behold, it is better to die than to kill. For the soul of the killer will fall into foul pits in the life to come. Therefore, many kibbutzot will be destroyed when attacked by heavily armed combatants. But you are to prefer dispersion over killing, for the soul of a dispersed Nazarean will rise high in the life to come, provided the Essene Way is not abandoned. To kill is to abandon the way. Lo, the Bahir Shibathayim is the new covenant given after the fall of this world. Had there been no fall, there would be no need of Shevet Ariot. Even so, they kill not, preferring death to killing, for death does not prevail over the non-killer. Nasarean lions, be not despondent when you see the armies of darkness appear to win victory after victory, for victory is not always what it seems. Yea, and he who seems to be the victor may later be revealed to be the vanquished. For true victory is the expansion of consciousness, not the expansion of worldly possessions. And this victory is won through service rendered in love. Think not that the other tribes perform their work effectively, but you fail in yours. for your success cannot be easily measured. Behold, if you let yourself be killed by a spear, rather than use the spear to kill another, do you fail? I tell you truly, such defeat is the greatest success. Therefore, be not despondent by apparent defeats, but neither should you boast nor use your strength to intimidate others, for such behavior is not the way of Shevet Ariot. Blessed are they who keep the way of Shevet Ariot. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and shall receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Ariot. Number 4, let there be Shevet Shirim Va Devrim. Devarim, the tribe of songs and words. Really good one for me to not be able to say the right word, right? These are the singers and musicians, the poets and writers. Behold, great teachings are imparted by music and words, yea, and also great feelings. Truly, joyful music is of heaven. A single note may rise the spirit, may lift a heavy soul. And a harmony of voices raised in song gives delight even to the angels. Yea, singers and musicians are givers of joy, provided they make themselves instruments of Jaja. Likewise, writers and poets may impart great wisdom and inspire profound feelings as instruments of Jaja. Yea, great wisdom is shared by tongue and scroll, and great acts are inspired by the artfully uttered word. For behold, in the beginning is the word. Yea, communication is of Jaja, for it brings light into darkness. O tribe of songs and words, be not despondent when it seems that your words fall on deaf ears. Neither be despondent when your joyful music is not rewarded by the world. Do not be despondent and say, the work of other tribes is appreciated while ours is ignored. Know this, a single plucked string creates a ripple that is felt throughout the heavens. And a word of wisdom that seems ignored may in fact be stored as a seed within the hearer. Be thankful for your gifts of song and word. But do not boast or gloat that you have greater gifts than others. For without the gatherer of materials, you have no parchment on which to write. And without the skilled craftsman, you have no instrument with which to make music. And without the farmer, you have no food upon your table. Behold, words and sounds may enlighten minds and lift souls, but they can also darken minds and torment souls. See to it that your words and sounds are of Jaja. For neither boasting nor gloating nor dark words are of Shevet Shirim Va Devarim. Blessed are they who keep the way of Shevet Shirim Va Devarim. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and shall receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Shirim Va Devarim. You can see already how you can be part of multiple different tribes if you are, a multi-talented kind of person. Number 5, let there be a Shevet Rekushim, the tribe of gatherers of materials. These are the prudent men and women who gather and store the materials that will be needed by others. For lo, the tribes shall need wood and stone, seed and soil, and other such things. Shevet Rekushim shall gather and store these materials, but that is not their greatest work. For they must see that the materials taken from the bosom of Mother Earth are taken in a manner that does little harm. Yea, if too much wood is taken from one forest, that forest will become ill. Likewise, if too much stone is taken from one mountain, the beauty of that mountain will be destroyed. Behold, Mother Earth is happy to share her soil, wood, and stones with you, for you are her children and have need of such things. What mother would deny her children the milk of her breast? But likewise, what child would cut off the breasts of his mother? Wherefore, those of Shevet Rekushim have a sacred charge. Gather and store the raw materials of the Mother Earth, but in a wise manner with sensitivity to her health. O Shevet Rekushim, do not become despondent, thinking, oh, other work is more spiritual than ours. For I tell you truly, you are the stewards of nature's bounty, and that is a sacred trust. Yea, a spiritual work you do for Jaja places you in a position of trust. Show yourselves worthy of that trust. For if the steward becomes a thief, who will protect the earth mother? Therefore be warned. Let not the temptation to profit from overzealous gathering of raw materials overtake you. For such is not the way of Shevet Rekushim. Blessed are they, the gatherers of raw materials who keep the way of Shevet Rekushim. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and shall receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Rekushim. Number 6. Let there be Shevet Ikarim, the tribe of farmers. Lo, the farmers sow the seeds that become the fruits and vegetables that feed the tribes. The farmer rises early with the angel of sun and works with all the angels of the earthly mother to grow the crops that feed the hungry. O Abdiel, just as the name of your father is Adam, which means soil, and the name of your mother is Eve, which means life, the farmer seeds dead soil with life to bring joy to the children of earth. For without the blessed work of the farmer, there is sadness and starvation in the land. Yea, the wise farmer works in harmony with Mother Earth and thereby brings joy to the children of earth. But be warned, an unwise farmer can bring death and despair, even as the wise farmer brings life and joy. For whereas the wise farmer mixes the principle of life with dead soil to make living soil, the unwise farmer will mix the poison of death with living soil to make dead soil. Wherefore I say unto all who hear my voice in the day when poisoned foods are offered at low price in fancy wrappings, know that those wrappings are not but the burial wraps of those who partake. Truly, to those of that day I say, better to pay double for living food than to partake of poisoned food. Yea, poisoned food is that grown in poisoned soil, and living food is that grown in living soil. Wherefore I say unto all of those of the future, beware. For when Adam and Eve are in union, there is joy. But Adam without Eve is death and despair. Behold, there are 12 tribes of workers in Yesar'el, but those of each tribe should touch the soil. Wherefore, in each Nasarean kibbutza, those of each tribe will work in the gardens in the morning or evening as needed, according to the view of the garden master. But those of Shevet Ikarim, the tribe of farmers, will specialize in this sacred work. Farmers, do not become despondent, thinking your work mundane and of the earth, but the work of priests transcendental and of the heavens. Nor should you think your fields less beautiful than the products of the artist. And do not think the sounds that surround your work less pleasing than the voices of the singers or the drumbeat of the drummers. Lo, each farm is a holy scripture testifying to the ways of Jaja. And he who does not see the tapestry of Jaja in the field of the farmer is blind to Jaja. And the birds that sing in the skies above the farm are as a heavenly chorus of angels. And the rhythm of the rains as they fall upon the fields, and the rhythm of the seasons as they turn, what drummer can surpass these? Yea, do not think your work less than other work. But neither should you think your work more important than the work of others, for such is not the way of Shevet Ikarim. Lo, you would be homeless without the house builder, and clothless without the seamstress. Yesar'el is one nation, and each tribe of workers contributes to the blessedness of this nation. Blessed are the farmers who keep the way of Shevet Ikarim. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and shall receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks to Shevet Ikarim. Seven, let there be Shevet Omanam, the tribe of artists and crafters. Omanim. These are them who make works of beauty with graceful hands, thereby bringing joy to the hearts of many. Some weave baskets of intricate patterns pleasing to the eye. Some use clay from the bosom of Earth Mother to fashion bowls and pots of great beauty. Others paint with a rainbow of colors the beauties of nature. Lo, there are 1,000 other ways them of graceful hands make works of beauty for all to enjoy. Artists and crafters, be not despondent thinking your work trivial or less useful than that of other tribes. For one work of art may speak as eloquently of the glories of Jaja as 1,000 sermons. And beauty is indeed useful, though it cannot be counted or measured. Yea, you are a joy giver. Be joyful that you have been blessed with your gift. But do not boast in your skill, neither mock those who have not your skill, for such behavior is not the way of Shevet Omanim. Blessed are the artists and crafters who keep the way of Shevet Omanim. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and shall receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Omanim. 8, let there be Shevet Karashim, the tribe of skilled tradesmen. These are them skilled in the art of using stone and wood to build homes and other useful things, and to repair broken things. Yea, these are them with skills in one of the many diverse trades. For many needs shall arise, and there will be skilled workers for each need. For Jaja blesses each person with a special gift. Some are blessed with voices like unto angels and become singers. Some are blessed with hands that heal the sick and become healers. And some are blessed with the skill to build homes for the singers and healers. Yea, the skills of one may not be the skills of another, but Yesar'el is blessed by the skills of each. Skilled tradesmen, be not despondent, thinking your gift less spiritual than the priest or less pleasing than the musician. For skills given by Jaja should be thankfully received and utilized for the uplift of all. That is the Nasarean way and the way of Shevet Karashim. Yea, be joyful for your skill, for with your skill you may serve others. Behold, the skilled seamstress makes the rasta of the priest, and the skilled builder makes homes for the singers. I tell you truly, many of Yesar'el would suffer were it not for the diverse skills of Shevet Karashim. Yea, skilled workers, be not despondent in your practical gifts, but neither should you boast. And do not belittle those who have not your skill, for such is not the way of Shevet Karashim. Blessed are the skilled tradesmen who keep the way of Shevet Karashim. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and shall receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Karashim. Number 9, let there be Shevet Ovdim, the tribe of service workers. These are the ones who are blessed with the desire to be of service. Their special gift from Jaja is their willingness to help. They take joy in providing personal services, even in tasks such as cleaning or physical labor. Though it may appear that they have no special skill, in truth, they have a great gift, the desire to help. Oh, service workers, be not despondent, thinking your gift is less than the gifts possessed by others. For service rendered in despondency is not of Jaja, but humble service rendered in joy is of Jaja, and is of the way of Shevet Ovdim. I tell you truly, there is no greater desire than the desire to help. The helper is a lover, for to help is to give evidence of love. Without helpers, life would be hopeless. Yea, without helpers, even the Lord and Lady would be without hope. Therefore, Shevet Ovdim, be not despondent with your work. But neither should you boast of your humility, for such is not true humility, and is not the way of Shevet Ovdim. Blessed are the service workers who keep the way of Shevet Ovdim. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and shall receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Ovdim. Number 10, let there be Shevet Rokalim, the tribe of merchants. These are the ones who make available the products of the tribes. Yea, they make it possible for the farmer who grows grain to enjoy tea from another land. They make it possible for the bull maker to enjoy fruit and the fruit grower to enjoy spice. And because of the merchants, the musicians may enjoy bread, and the bread maker may enjoy fruit. Behold, the merchants are masters of trade, and trade is a noble work if the trader is noble. The noble merchant is honest. He speaks only the truth about his merchandise. The noble merchant is fair. He asks a fair price for his merchandise. The noble merchant will see that the poor and hungry do not go away empty-handed. Lo, the noble merchant is a blessing to all. But an ignoble merchant is a scar upon the land, for the ignoble merchant cheats and lies, spreading inequity throughout the tribes. Yea, the ignoble merchant shares not his bounty with the poor and hungry, and the ignoble merchant trades in things that are harmful. O Nasarean merchants, walk not the way of the ignoble merchant. Lo, be noble merchants, for that is the way of Shevet Rokalim. O Shevet Rokalim, be not despondent when you see the merchants of death making more profitable trades. Lo, the merchants of death will trade in weapons and carcasses and every sort of evil. For, seeming to have no conscience whatsoever, they deal in death. It seems they pile up ill-gained wealth with no remorse. But buried deep within, behold, they have a conscience, and that conscience is the witness of their every iniquity. And sooner or later, unless they repent, their conscience will burn in the self-made hellfire of guilt. Yea, desire not to be a merchant of death, for what seems now to be their profit will later be their death. And be not despondent, thinking, my work is too worldly for one on the spiritual path. I tell you truly, if not for the equitable trader, children would starve, farmers would be homeless, and drummers would be drumless. Behold, the noble merchant brings spirituality out of the clouds and into the marketplace. Truly, it is easier to preach a sermon about honesty than to be an honest merchant. Blessed are the merchants who keep the way of Shevet Rokalim. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and shall receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Rokalim. Number 11. Let there be Shevet Roim, the tribe of shepherds. Notice that shepherds is different than farmers. Farmers are doing the crops, and shepherds, as we're going to see, are dealing with sheep, right? It is they who tend flocks of sheep, protecting the sheep in exchange for milk and wool. The milk, fermented for proper digestion, makes the body of the shepherd strong, and the wool warms his body on cool nights. And with his strong body, he protects the sheep from those who desire to eat its flesh. The shepherd is the friend of the sheep. Behold, before the fall of man, his body was ethereal and needed not such food as fermented dairy. After the fall, the righteous may eat dairy and eggs, but not eat flesh. Ascetics may abstain from dairy and eggs for a time or entirely, but should not boast or glory in their asceticism. Some ascetics will eat only fruit and nuts and wander without home, healing and teaching. Their path is blessed, but is for the few, not the many. But the unrighteous and ignorant eat flesh, even the flesh of the sheep. And so the shepherd and the sheep are friends. The shepherd protects the sheep, and the sheep shares his milk and wool. Or its milk, not his. O good shepherds, be not despondent that you are unable to protect all of the sheep and animals of this world. For the wicked ones who populate this fallen world will slay animals for food and profit, yea, even for pleasure. And the ignorant, though not evil, will follow the example of the evil ones. But take joy in the knowledge that you save many animals from that fate and work to save even more. Good shepherds do not take too much wool and milk from the sheep you protect, but only what they can give without harm. And when your sheep become old and unproductive, do not turn them over to the merchants of death, neither cease to care for them, for that is the way of a friend. Yea, and it is not the way of Shevet Roim. Oh, that is not the way of the friend, I'm sorry. When your sheep become old and unproductive, do not turn them over to the merchants of death, neither cease to care for them, for that is not the way of a friend. Yea, and it is not the way of Shevet Roim. Blessed are the shepherds who keep the way of Shevet Roim. They are of the nation of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and shall receive blessing, heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Roim. And finally, number 12, let there be Shevet Akarim, which is the tribe of other acceptable work. And within this tribe may be many tribes, for this is the tribe of those who gather to fulfill a need that arises. For needs may arise that are not met by the 11 tribes. Truly, the people of one age cannot know all the needs that will arise in another. Yea, and one may feel called to do a work other than the assigned to the 11 tribes. For Jaja is creative, and those who are of Jaja are creative. Wherefore I say, do not oppose new things just because they are new. But neither shall you embrace every new thing, for not all new things are of Jaja. And many new things that appear to be harmless will in time prove to be harmful. Behold, many new things are of the enemies of Jaja. Yea, and great deceptions will be perpetrated in the name of progress. Likewise, great evil occurs when true progress is prevented in the name of preservation. Therefore, Yesar'el, be equally cautious of the dangers of stagnation and false progress. Let all who would propose new work tribes speak first to the Takbolia Elyon, the High Council of Yesar'el, then let the High Council make the final decision. Blessed are they who balance creativity with prudence, progress with preservation, and freedom with order. It is they who keep the way of Yesar'el. They are working for Jaja and will receive heavenly blessings. Kashab, I say unto all who will enter Yesar'el, give thanks. Raise your hands high and give thanks for Shevet Akarim. Yea, raise your hands high unto Jaja. Give thanks for the 12 tribes of workers. Each tribe is a spoke of one wheel, one nation of Yesar'el, united in holy work. Give thanks. On your screen here, you should be able, sorry if I was cutting off the words, to see a list there of all of the 12 tribes, priests, priestesses, healers, the lions, the protectors, songs and words, farmers, artists and crafters, skilled tradesmen, service workers, merchants. Oops, someone did a little mess up there. The shepherds, other acceptable work. Which one did I miss? Anyways, it is so interesting to me that it is not at all related to bloodlines. And I love that it literally talks about, everyone is going to be free to join multiple different tribes and all of the flexibility there is. But even recently regarding like the 12 tribes, somebody came onto my YouTube channel here and basically said that this amazing, beautiful text here, essentially they were making claims that it is supposedly belonging to a high-ranking group of African priests, essentially. And he accused me, which I don't have any power over any of this, of removing melanated pictures of Christ and Lord and Lady Christ. And then further went into saying that basically I do not fit the likeness of those that are allowed to touch this text, that I shouldn't be touching it, that I shouldn't be preaching it, that all of these basic things that unfortunately was just this person's racism coming through. And these texts don't belong to anybody. These texts are from God and Goddess, and they are for everybody. And anybody who is trying to make a claim that this belongs on that, or any religious text, if your religious text is only for one group of people, well, let's talk about that, because that's not coming from the divine. God and Goddess aren't sitting up there saying, oh, well, your skin color is good, you guys are good to go. You aren't, like, they're not judging us. Like, well, first of all, they're not even judging us in that way anyways. They are happy to give to any of us who are ready to receive. When we want to be the hands and feet of mercy, they're ever ready for helpers. And those of us, they will pour into our lives. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what family you come from. None of those things matter. What matters is what's inside, our thoughts, words, and outside too, our thoughts, words, and deeds, right? That is what we are judged on, and where ultimately the salvation plan comes into play, which we'll talk about in the next few chapters, the plan of salvation and the different forms of it, which we've already kind of discussed before. But it has nothing to do at all with racism, and anybody that is focused on that, or trying to promote racial division or separation or animosity, fueling these wars that have already been going on for a very long time, that's not aligned with this text. That's not aligned with the Creator. So no matter what you're trying, no matter how right you think you are, if you're approaching things in this manner, that is not the right way. It's showing me that you might claim that these texts are yours and that they don't belong to other people, but your actions prove that you don't even read what's in the book. And I guess I brought this up because they try to mention the 12 tribes, and I'm like, the 12 tribes aren't bloodlines at all. So you're arguing that this text belongs to you based on the mainstream Bible's a false narrative of the 12 tribes and all of these different agendas that have been, again, fueling racial division since the very beginning of, races being created. So yeah, every different way that they can try to divide and conquer, they do. And these agents of darkness, a lot of, I don't even know that this guy is, maybe he is well-meaning and maybe he's just lost his way. But yeah, it's okay. Sorry about that. I'm gonna get off of here anyways after I check the live chat, but cool. Sorry about that. Hey, Kyle, how's it going? Kyle Whitman says, hey. Hopefully you're staying nice and warm there in Michigan. I haven't seen the weather, but I know that in Mount Shasta it is snowy, and so I'm kind of assuming that you guys have probably gotten some nice winter weather there too. Hey, Artist, how's it going? Artist says, nice poster. Oh, thanks. I'm actually at the Mother Temple, so none of the decorations are mine, but yeah, it's nice high vibes. Good, there's a passage about food awareness. Yeah, I thought that was so cool that they literally, oh, I'm still looking, sorry. I am still looking at the other camera and not this one. Okay. I thought that was so cool how they talked about those fancy wrappers and how those wrappers would literally become our own death wrappers, right? Very, very fascinating. Hello, Kyle Smith. Kyle says, unless the Lord builds a house, we labor in vain. That's a beautiful saying. I love that the golden rule is woven into the precepts of skilled tradesmen. It helps course correct me. Oh, I love all of those too. I think the way that they are laid out is so cool as well. And in a later book, we're actually going to get into the precepts of the different groups, which is what Kyle's bringing up. This was just kind of a light touch of what these general tribes are. But there's a really cool story that we'll get into with Judah and Rapha and how the elders and eldresses of these tribes actually came about, and then those ones they're asked to essentially form the precepts of those tribes. So that stuff is established later. Really cool stuff. In the next few chapters, we're going to be getting into the Nasarean, the Wheel of Days, and just some other more detailed stuff. I think the presentation that I'm working on right now has like over 80 slides. So that's candle 6. So I haven't even touched candle 7 yet, and I know that it's going to be a big one. So I have a lot of work to do in the next day or so. Artist says, a very interesting text about the 12 tribes. I agree. Important text should be for everyone. Exactly. All of these texts should be. And this idea of one of the claims that is essentially being made is that there is a certain, essentially, roof of enlightenment that you can get to, and only if you have melanated skin can you get into these higher spiritual teachings and rankings. And thankfully, that is not how the divine works. If there are entities that are making those kinds of stipulations, you should probably check the source, and that's not a divine entity. Whatever they're telling you, that's not coming from, a place of God and Goddess. And I keep looking at the wrong camera. Okay. I'm gonna do that on next one. Okay, sorry about that. Kyle says, the God and Goddess are not partial. They are for all. Absolutely. We are all their children, no matter how far we have strayed, even the powers that be and all of the atrocities that we hear that they have done. God and Goddess still love them and want that forgiveness and repentance for them. And I've said it, before, us, we're supposed to be, the hands and feet of Lord and Lady Christ, that vessel that extends that love and forgiveness to them, to try to pull them into the light rather than being condemning and condescending and mean and hateful. What they're doing is despicable and evil, but us throwing more negative energy towards them is just, going to push their soul down further into darkness and corruption, not pull them towards the light, right? Love looks for the best in others. It finds it and it calls it to come forth. I love that. We'll have to read the love chapter in here again at some point, but yeah. Hey, Charlie, how's it going? Thank you for sharing the book, Inanna. Absolutely. It is my pleasure. Hopefully people are able to, maybe you're not able to sit down and read the book, but maybe you could just turn on the video in the background and listen to somebody else read it to you and get all the good information. I absolutely love this book. I love sharing it. I love reading it and doing my own personal studies and just getting more insight like every time that I pick it up. So really good. Artist said frozen screen. Yes, my phone died, so I had to switch that. Kyle says it's super gloomy, no snow today. Aw, well, hopefully the sun will come out. It's looking like it's coming out here in Florence, so hopefully it'll shape up to be a nice weekend. I know that, again, Mount Shasta just got kind of pummeled with snow, so I'm grateful that I am not there right now. And yeah, it's really interesting how much warmer it can be, like so much further north than Mount Shasta and on the Oregon coast. But it really doesn't snow here either. It is like a rainforest, and it's very rainy and very dark. Like I was looking at the woods on the way here. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so dark and like uninviting. I live in the woods in Mount Shasta, but it's not, the vibe is like just not so dark and dense and heavy as it is here. Like creepy. It's like moss growing on all the trees, and it's really, really beautiful. But I'm thankful for my Mount Shasta woods. That's just a little bit lighter. Artist says, same here in Germany. Clear sky, sunny for 5 days now. Woohoo! And it's just under freezing point. Oh, wow. Well, that's great that you've had clear sky, clear sunny skies. I'm not sure what other country, how much chemtrailage goes on in other countries and stuff like that. Yeah, I haven't been able to even notice any of the chemtrails around here lately because it's always, not always, but it's very often very foggy here and rainy. So anyways, I'm going to jump off of here. Like I said, I am finishing up the presentations for the 6th and 7th candle, which are going to be coming in the next few days, and I need to go and finish them. Hopefully this stuff has been helpful, and yeah, hopefully it's been insightful and exciting. I'm excited. This stuff excites me, so hopefully it excites you too. It's new good stuff. All right. I hope that you have a wonderful day. I will be back here tomorrow at noon for some church service again. Have a wonderful day. May God and the goddess bless you.